We know that in response to the current pandemic, there are plans to, for instance, make testing free. And a lot of people who've been advocating for Medicare for all have been making the case that this would be a great, like if we had it, we would be weathering this much better. Obviously, Bernie Sanders brought that up at the last debate. We have some evidence that that is starting to affect people. Before we get into the evidence though, what do you think about this as a demonstration of how our healthcare system is currently constructed and how it might have gone if we had the sort of healthcare system that a lot of Western countries have?
Yeah, this is really highlighting the deep inadequacies of our healthcare system, and also like when you have a government, capitalist-focused government, trying to procure exclusive rights to an antidote, to treatment methods. I mean, that is just so warped. That what I really want to say, I can't say because it shows TV 14. It is just so evil. It's so malicious. But on the healthcare system, when we see this really hit its peak, that's dangerous because you have a for-profit model in our healthcare system, unlike most other developed countries. And what that's going to aggravate is the low supply. You have no incentive for these companies to produce supplies if they are not getting paid. And you have all these different mechanisms and loopholes and ways for companies to deny people's claims. So and on top of that, you have millions of people who are uninsured. So through no fault of their own, through a government lack of response and lack of immediacy that aggravated this problem, you're going to see people spiral into medical debt because of both a poor response from the government and a broken healthcare system that is so evil. And while people point to Italy, like Joe Biden did during the debate, Italy's universal healthcare system is what is preventing it from getting much worse. So it's important to remember that. I almost blew my lid when he said that because it is so inaccurate.
Yeah, and also, so you rightfully point out we have many people still, years and years after the ACA, we have millions and millions of people that are not insured. And as of right now, still most people get their health insurance through their jobs. We're in a situation where people need health insurance and soon a lot of these jobs might disappear. That seems like a bad idea, and it seems like a reminder that making your healthcare not contingent on who happens to be employing you right now, that seems like a good idea going forward.
Yeah, there's just so many different ways that you could really get tripped up on this. I've talked about this on my podcast recently. For me, I switch healthcare providers at the end of this month, and I know that's coming. And I know I'm deeply privileged where I have healthcare now, and I know I'll have it next month. But those ends sometimes do not always meet, and that is not always a fluid process. And I am deeply concerned about possibly getting it, and then being stuck in a situation where I have to consider getting medical treatment during that overlap period where I don't know if the healthcare has been kicked in yet for the next carrier because it's different, a different carrier. Things like that are so absolutely unnecessary and totally preventable. But it's pitfalls like that, people not having insurance or people having a high deductible, basically useless plans, which cause headaches, unnecessary headaches. But it's all because these for-profit corporate monsters in the healthcare world just want to get rich and enrich their shareholders.
Yeah, and really fast, just to close, I think a lot of people are catching up to us on some of these positions. Polling shows 76% support free testing, 75% support free vaccine, 53% support free healthcare going forward, 66% support paid sick leave, and 68% paid family leave. I would say to the 24 to 25% who think that you should still have to pay for your testing and your vaccine for this. What is wrong with you people? We have a pandemic sweeping across our country, and you think they should have to pay. I will never understand some humans.
It's so cruel. Like people like that, people who are stockpiling supplies to try to price gouge others on Amazon. What is wrong with you? Who hurt you? I just want to just give them a hug. Come on, who hurt you? Let's get through this together. It does not need to be like this.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.